Hello, wherever you are, and welcome to Think. Yes! Think. Welcome to my new show called Think. My people, it's going to be a wonderful show. It's going to be a show where everyone can feel welcome and everyone can participate. We've made that decision. We were very critical and look at stuff and decide to back away from the political scene and cause people to think. It's going to be a very exciting show. You can dialogue with those in the chat room. You can just express yourself because our show is to think. So we are taking away that heavy cloak that was on me, and we decided to go smooth and easy. So it's just going to be a think program. So allow me to welcome you to my first episode of Think, and we are all going to think. And we were brainstorming and decided what to do because we wanted to move away from the political scene. We wanted to move away from the lies and deceit theme And we wanted to go into something where we can go deeper into the minds of people and cause them to think, not for me, not for you, but for themselves. And if each of us take our time to think, St. Lucia is going to be very, very fantastic and wonderful. So help us grow our new show, Think, with people who really want to think. And I am feeling so much happier, so much lighter, that I've taken all this political thing and throw it at the back of me. Excuse me. The weather, my people, the weather. It really has me, going back and forth, but I'm hanging in there. So we basically threw this out, and for us to move forward and think, and we are looking for sponsors who want to be part of this, because this is not a political show. It is a show for everybody to think. And as usual, your job is to support the show by purchasing a digital coffee or becoming a member. It's a digital coffee. It is not a literal coffee, people. So I'm happy. I feel so relaxed, so happy that I'm doing this new show called Think. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on in there. And it will be fun for you too, because I think people right now just need to think. Now take a listen, take a look at our video. And I am back, and my team and myself, we feel so much more relaxed, and doing something that will help everybody. We feel very, very, I know it's a surprise. All of y'all were looking for lies and deceit, but if you really follow me, you'd realize that I have been posting Think. It was a teaser, and I'm sure some of you are very bright, and some of you must be saying, what's wrong with Soso? Why Soso putting Think there? Why Soso putting Think there? So we are going to Think tonight, and as I said, if you want to be a new sponsor, a supporter of the show, the link is at the bottom or at the top of the live, where you purchase a digital coffee or coffees to support us. We're going differently. We leave the politics behind and we're moving on. So tonight, we know we're in the Carnival, or the Carnival season has come to a close as of today. And many of us, even me, including me, we were discussing on my wall the attire and how people were dressing and how they were behaving. Now, you want to whine like that on the street? You want to do all that on the street? That's not my business. That is your business. But what I do not understand, this is why the new show is called Think. This is what I don't understand, people. We have one set of rules that we want people to obey all the time, and another set of rules where you just break it at will. Now, I know some of you will come and say, oh, Soso, and by the way, Soso is my nickname for those who don't know. My name is Soraya Alexander. My nickname is Soso. Now, some people may come and say, oh, Soso, why are you saying this? But listen, it's a cultural event, yes. So I want to know if we have selective morality in this country. And I say this because I have witnessed this going through the school system, especially with our boys. There are boys who naturally want to grow their hair, they cornrow their hair, or their hair may be a little big. Imagine students are being sent home because their hair may be higher than 2 inches. Students are being sent home because their hair are cornrows. They say these are the rules of the school. I have no issues with any school's rules, but isn't it not the Ministry of Education or the government by extension are the ones responsible for a cultural festivity called Carnival? Now the government is going to think. The government is going to say to oh, these are big men and women, they can whine, they can do whatever. Granted, however, we still have a responsibility as adults and as the government to ensure that things are done in decency and in order. Now people are saying, oh, these are big people, and somebody even said, why are the young children there watching Carnival? But Carnival's supposed to be a family affair. When I was a little girl, I used to go watch Carnival, right? And it was nothing like that. I will not go and watch Carnival, or if I had smaller kids, bring them to this, because it looks like sex on the streets. So much so that the journalist from Choice interviewed some guys, and the guys said they came to Carnival to have sex. And then she was not quick enough to pull the mic away from them. But this is what they said on national TV. Thousands of people watching Carnival, YouTube, Facebook, TV, wherever. And they said they came for sex. So I want to understand something. Is it okay for people to do what they want for 2 days, and our boys whose hair are neatly cornrowed, neatly plaited, or maybe an inch or two higher than the rules of the school, is it right to say to them, get out of the school, go home and get this fixed? We put our children in a box, especially our boys. We put them in a box to obey the rules of the school. Then we ask ourselves why children are rebelling. Why are they rebelling? So these young kids like, okay, I cannot even go to school with my little plaits or whatever. But look at these people, the Ministry of Education, the government embracing this. Yes, these are big people. But you cannot have one rule that people do what they want largely for 2 days. And these young men, most of them, their hair are clean. And you are saying to them, either wear a cap, wear a tam, or cut your hair. Or if your hair a little taller, send them away. Why don't we think and build character of these young men? Our young men are fading away. Now what you are doing, you are saying to the young men, it is okay, right? It is okay for the girls to bend down in the street with the thong on them, right? But it's not okay for you to come to school because of our rules. Your hair must be cut or it must be covered. What signals are we sending to our young boys? Then we ask ourselves why our young boys are all over the streets. Our young boys don't succeed because they feel slighted. The girls get away with everything. And I'm going to show you the video, okay? The Vaval video. I'm going to just show you that video where it is okay for the women and the girls to just have fun. But our boys have been clamoring for their hairstyle to be accepted. And we are not accepting it. Take a listen.
I want y'all to grab somebody right now. One, two, one.
Somebody call my mother. Hey, somebody call my mother for me. Hey, make the two boys jiggle. Hey, clap on that table. Hey, my girl, I know you able. Hey, come. Now glance. For me. Look at yourself. For me. Vega. 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 I feel like it's the same man that I costume for you. I'm on the road. Trouble on the road.
I wanna run every carnival with you. Go to every fete and party too. I'm doing this over and over. They could never take my carnival from me.
So you realize that the ladies are having fun. You saw the exposure. But you see, like I said, people have a right to do what they want. They are big people. However, it comes with a price. Responsible behavior. And we are trying to tell our children it is okay as long as you are a minor or if you are in school to follow the rules. But when you turn 18 or whatever, it's okay to do what you want. So you see the hypocrisy, you see the selective morality, and this is what I am talking about tonight. Think. People think we want our country, we want our young men to be better. But what are we asking them to do? We are putting them in a box. Imagine if we built character within those young boys. You think they will not know right from wrong? And the boys are saying the girls are getting all the good treatment, and rightfully so. But what you must also remember and watch in those videos, the Vaval video, will play it again 1 minute for them. Watch in those videos and tell me if you see any of the men or the boys vulgar. No, the men have their short pants. If they're, topless or they have a top, they do not look indecent. So you see, every time we are at our boys, it's okay. Like I say, people are big, people do what they want. But you cannot enforce one set of rules in a school. People will say rules of school is rules of school. These are children. But what are we telling our children? It is okay to put you in a box, but it's okay for adults to behave as they want, for the past 2 days. Look at the men or the young men, how they are dressed in the video. Take a look.
I want y'all to grab somebody right now. One, two, one, two, one.
Somebody call my mother. Hey, somebody call my mother for me. Make me do what's jiggle for me. Play on that table for me. My girl, I know you able. Hey, come. Now glance. For me. Look at yourself. For me. Vega. For me. Vega. I feel like it's the same man that I costume for you. I'm on the road. Trouble on the road.
I wanna run every carnival with you. Go to every fete and party too. I'm doing this over and over. They could never take my carnival from me.
You hear Arthur Ale said they could never take away their carnival from them. I'm not here to say take away carnival from anybody. No. And I believe that Arthur Ale is, I like listening to him. I like watching him, not only because he's easy on the eyes. Let me tell you, I look at the total package when it comes to an artist. Arthur Ale is always dressed to the T. His hair is always well groomed. His face, his demeanor, and he looks and he behaves like a professional artist. And I wish for this young man to go further. Whenever, and the other thing with Arthur Ale has good vocals. And I think Arthur needs to push himself out of St. Lucia. And I'll be very frank with you all people. To make it in St. Lucia, it is very hard. It is very hard for the musicians and for anybody, business people. It is very hard to make it in St. Lucia because of our culture. Because of our culture. But he is one of the artists that I really like to watch, always on point, looking good. Now, as I said to you, think. The gentlemen on the stage, you are not seeing nothing you're not supposed to see. So, in school, they're not supposed to wear cornrows, but look at how they are, and look at our young ladies and the women, how they behave in selective morality. I'm saying that for you to think. I'm not telling you not to enjoy your carnival. I am saying this for you to think. Because some of the behaviors were beyond egregious. And the men who came from wherever, I won't mention the country, who said they came looking for sex, that's what Carnival is about. Carnival has really gotten away from the sense of what Carnival used to be. Now, think, in terms of Carnival, I believe Carnival scored big time in terms of the parties, well, the fetes, they call them, the shows, the concert, the boat rides, the private parties, the brunch. I think these things were well executed, and I believe that is where all the monies were made. Right? However, and I am coming to all these nice things, because we have to think for ourselves. Who's going to think for us? I can't think for you. You can't think for me. You got to think for you. So, when I looked at Carnival for the past 2 days, I was gravely disappointed. And then I heard the chairman of tourism, his name is Thaddeus Antoine. I heard him in an interview, and he said that, they had supplier chain issues. They couldn't get the costumes, they couldn't get this, they couldn't get that. Now, this is what I am saying. It is okay if you realize that the carnival for the 2 days would not be as spectacular as what it used to be, and do something else. But everybody wants to jump Vaval, so they go ahead and they jump their Vaval. But even if you may want to do something, you do not take away, you do not remove the quality. You do not bring down the quality because you want to do it. And he was saying, he was saying supplier chain issues. Now we know that. I'm sure Thaddeus Antoine, Ernest Hilaire, Tamara Gibson, and the gang, I'm sure you guys knew of supplier issue. But I will give you all 100% for all the other activities. But that part, maybe you all should have done something else. Okay? Now, the Ministry of Tourism, you right now have to think. You right now have a wealth of knowledge. I do not know how you'll do your metrics, because I do my metrics. I get my information for everything I do. The night of the pageant, the Carnival pageant, you guys had record numbers of people watching. There was a time, Mr. Producer, I think there was like 10,000 people watching on YouTube. Yeah, there was about 10,000 people, and when you go on the other stations, people were watching y'all. So, Facebook, wherever, you need to do your analytical people, right, need to take those metrics and see where those people were watching from, the countries they were watching from, and build on that to enhance our tourism. So while the Minister of Tourism may feel, maybe Carnival was the 2 days may not have been what it was supposed to be, but you won in terms of the other activities, and you won in terms of the number of people that watch the Carnival show pageant. I remember I did my show and then I ran for me to watch it, and we could not believe the numbers. So you need to do the stats and capitalize on that. There will be good, there will be bad. The bad for me, the 2 days didn't score. And the creativity wasn't there. Some of the outfits were just panty and bathing suit. We have to be more creative. It's Carnival. Think with me. Is Carnival only about, drinking rum, mateing, wearing swimsuit? Come on, where's the creativity? You can wear something beautiful. And I saw ladies, and this is what I was saying, and everybody, want to say, oh, we holy with this. It's not nothing about holy. If this is a family-friendly event, you have a little child, 3-4 years watching Carnival, excuse me, and somebody has a thong passing in their derriere, bending down, and you have little children. We have become a selfish people, think. We have become a selfish people in that, I don't care if the other person, face how do what you want. I don't care. Now, I get it that many people came down for Carnival from overseas. Yes, I'm not saying that they didn't come and they didn't contribute to the economy. What I am saying is that the parade and the spectacularness was not there. It was not there for the 2 days. And I think I saw the Minister of Tourism put something saying he's going to do a post-review of Carnival. You should. And I'm telling you where you won. You won on the pageant and the other feds. Go get those numbers. See where the traffic came from and build on this. And this is why I'm said we are thinking here. We're not beating up anybody. We are just thinking. Go ahead, see where you can improve. And I'm asking people that when you start thinking for yourself, don't run with the crowd. When you run with the crowd, you're going to make a lot of errors, right? So our show is positive to think, to cause the government to think, to cause you to think, to cause me to think in a positive way. We're not here to beat up anybody, none of that. We're not doing that. So we're going to take a little break so I can drink some water. We'll take a coffee break. And as I said, when you support the show, it's a new show for the first time. When you support, it's a digital coffee. Just making you understand it's a digital coffee, and you support us or coffees or membership. Take a listen. Okay, so my people, we have all sorts of people enjoying Carnival. Now, the thing that I'll show you something in a bit, but the thing that really irks me, right, is that I'm hearing that everybody's saying the world is going back to normal, and we must accept it. We have to live with COVID. I don't have an issue with that, but are we prepared for what may come because of all the activities we had? This is why my show is called Think. You have to think for yourself. The government can't think for you. I can't think for you. Your mommy, your daddy, you have to think for yourself. Because people, when we looked at those shows and Carnival, everything was packed. Now, I am a bit taken aback because Nemo had their requirements where everybody must be 3 feet apart. But, I am looking at all the carnivals in the Caribbean, not only St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, I think Barbados is going to have Jamaica. Every country is having their carnival. And it's as if everybody have forgotten COVID. Again, you cannot expect people to be responsible for you. You have to think. Now, NEMO gave their guidelines, but did people follow? Did the planners follow? No. And then people were without masks. So I have a little issue here again. Think. And even if I may believe, okay, all of them went out partying and they didn't have masks, so I can just do it too. Think. I will not go into the supermarket or into the workplace without my mask. I am going to wear my mask. Because at the end of the day, that's the only protection I have. And many of those people, again, we were saying about people had to be vaccinated. People didn't have to be vaccinated. So I want to know, think, what is the plan for the after effects of all this? I am not wishing bad on my country. I am not wishing bad on anybody, but we have to think of the realities. How are we going to track this? Are we prepared for it? Think, everybody's having a good time. And sometimes people just forget all the things that may or can happen to them and go and have fun. But I'm going to show you a little video of even the foreigners enjoying. It's good to enjoy, but people, we have to think and be responsible for ourselves.
Money. God made woman to eat man money. God made woman to eat man money.
So you see, this song is very popular. That God made a woman to eat man money. So the foreigners are enjoying. But I go back to thinking about the rules that the young men supposed to cover their hair or cut their hair. They cannot wear their nice cornrows, clean cornrows, or their hair above 2 inches, go home. But we have the young ladies bending over, thong in their derriere, looking, like they don't care. But we want to penalize our boys. But I also have a problem. Rules are rules. Where is the protocols? The protocols have gone out the window. So we are going to look at what NEMO, you see, I like us to think, to come together to think. If all of us start to think, we will be responsible. But the pleasure of the moment, the pleasure for the time, let's just have fun. Then later we say, if we knew. But people want to beat the Ministry of Tourism for having Carnival, but everywhere is having Carnival. Everybody is saying they want to go back to normal and we cannot stay like this. However, everybody can go back to normal. Everybody can go to Carnival, but you have to think for yourself. The buck stops with you. So the NEMO said the requirements for hosting mass crowd events. So we had many mass crowd events. And you all remember the show Think and said, the host of Think, Soraya said this. So we really need to think for ourselves. And this is why my how will I say it? I look at life differently. Not in the lens everybody looked at it. Like, what's going on, we'll be fine. Everybody might go, and then I may be the one who falls sick. So we have to be very careful. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, wishes to advise event organizers of Statutory Instrument Number 78 of 2022, which mandates physical distancing and orders that a person shall distance himself or herself no less than 3 feet from another person in all public-private spaces on St. Lucia. We saw the events, we know that never happened. So I am bringing this in order for you to think, because sometimes we just like to go with the flow without thinking for ourselves. Be further advised, all mass crowd event organizers must obtain the necessary approvals from all relevant agencies before proceeding with your proposed event. Also, event organizers must submit all required applications in triplicate to NEMO no less than 14 days in advance of the scheduled date. This is to facilitate site visit by NEMO officials to ensure the suitability of the proposed venues. I know there was one activity that had to happen at Pigeon Point and they shifted it to the Darren Sammy grounds. You see, you need to think. And not because you didn't go to an event that you should not think. It is the same analogy I am making with the boys and their plats. They're supposed to follow the rules at school. But for those mass events, nobody followed the rules. Nemo had the rules. Who was guarding the guards? So this is where we should be thinking. Okay. Nobody followed the rules. Now, excuse me. My sinuses are bothering me. The weather is crazy. Rain, sun. So this is where my people, Nemo has to come, and this is what I'm saying, thinking not only with us as individuals, but all organization, boards. They need to think, because right now Nemo has to come and say something. This is why I am saying the people need to think, and when you start to think, you will see changes. We need to ask Nemo. There were guidelines, but the guidelines were not followed. So what is the plan? Are there any penalties? There is a penalty for the young boys wearing their cornrows. Go home, suspension, or go cut your hair, or whatever. But there is no penalty for organizers not following your rules. Stay with me, people. Think. This is what our show is about. It's causing you to think. So, requirements for hosting mass events provided below are the prerequisites for events that exceed 200 people. Royal St. Lucia Police Force has to be involved, and I saw the force, doing their due, but I must commend them in terms of protecting themselves. Their masks were on. Bravo to you. Don't take no chances. You don't know who has monkeypox, who has whatever. Permission for loudspeakers. Traffic management plan. Security plan. St. Lucia Fire Service evacuation plan. EMT support with ambulance and Ministry of Health. From what I understood, many of the shows, in terms of those 1 to 5, numbers 1 to 5, they were compliant. But they were not compliant. Think people with the 3 feet. And how can anybody be in such a concert be 3 feet away? So, I will tell you where I am going with that, because we have to think. And this is what you have to, people, think. Not because, to just talk. Let us think. 6, mass casualty response plan. Letter providing medical support from either a medical practitioner, St. Lucia Red Cross, or St. John's Ambulance Brigade. Public health certification. Event planners can access the full list of requirements via NEMO and the government of St. Lucia, blah, 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 blah. I believe most of the events qualified from 1 to 8, except the 3 feet apart, which is not practical. There's no way this is practical. There's absolutely no way this is practical to stay 3 feet apart. So here's my question to the medical authorities. Are you going, the Chief Medical Officer and the Minister of Health? Here's my question to you as a thinker. Are protocols going to be, how will I say it? Are protocols going to be tougher on the people of St. Lucia because of all the mass events that went on? Or are you going to remove all protocols? Because if we look at what happened or think over the past few days or weeks with all the excitement, we all should not be wearing masks. We all should be just going about our business. Vaccination should not be pushed. Nothing should be pushed because it's like life went back to normal for Carnival. Think, my people, and this is why I have brought you to a new show that you think. And I don't think many of us use our thinking skills enough. So this is what I want to know. I wish everybody who went to those shows, I wish none of them get sick with COVID, monkeypox, nothing. We don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. However, the possibility is there for them to fall ill and then infect other people. So right now, what is the plan? Think to protect yourself who was out there, to protect those who didn't go out there. What is the plan to protect us? Like the guys who said they came to Carnival for sex and they had condoms. Well, I guess they had condoms to protect themselves, flashing all over the place. So you see, they're thinking sex line, condoms, but what are you thinking to protect your health and yourself and your family? So there is one set of rules. So this is what I'm saying. The world do not care for you. You have to care for yourself. And if you don't care for yourself, you will be in problems. And we need to change the thinking of even some of those people in authority. And I dwell again upon our young men. If a young man comes to school with his hair raggedy, dirty, and whatever, right? What we have to do as a people, where are the male support for those young men in the school? He comes with his hair raggedy, just telling him go home, go and cut his hair, go whatever. Where is the support system to say, hey, come? A male teacher pull him on the side, come. Let's go wash your hair, let's get your hair plaited properly. But we make the boys believe like they are not important. We have many brilliant young men, right? We need to push our boys. And as we realize, 5 of them topped the school exit examination, primary exit assessment, sorry. They topped it, 5 of them. So what are we going to do? We need to take care of our boys. So it's like the girls get a pass, the women get a pass with everything, and our boys are just left there on their own. This is why we have to think. And this is why I always say, and I've always said to you all, think for yourself. Because most times when you think for yourself and you're not thinking en masse, you are going to make the best decision of your life. And I want to show you, and like I said, the show is for you to think. When you go back, you can sit and ponder on what I am saying. It is for you to think. Now, before I show you another video about back to school, we'll show you the coffee video so that you can support the show. So we need to start thinking for ourselves, and especially I believe we will get a better society if we start doing things right, especially from the kindergarten up to primary, secondary, tertiary, university, etc., etc. I think we will start doing better if we sit down, excuse me, if we sit down and look at what is there. Times have changed. We are not thinking. Times have changed, yet we have the same school rules in the school from the time I was a child. I've left school so many years ago, maybe 35 years ago, although we always keep learning, right? I've left school so long, and those same rules go to all those infant, primary, secondary schools. Go there, and those rules that were there when I was a little child are still there. So it tells me our people have not been thinking, our people have just been sitting, going with the flow. So I want you to take a look at this video back to school, and you will understand why I'm talking on behalf of the boys and that our schools are still in 1900.
The mother of the child says after a very long discussion with her son and relevant parties, she has decided to cover her son's hair in keeping with the wishes of St. Mary's College to allow him to attend classes and take part in school activities. The principal of the college says he's pleased with the development.
We welcome him back to the fold, you might say, of the school, and he's in class. I'm sure learning well and doing well and being happy as the other boys. The boys gave him a round of applause when he came in this morning. Although we did have a very rousing assembly this morning, everybody reaffirming the position of the school very, very in certain terms. But at the end of the day, it's good that this has happened, so he can now join the school and be one of us. It's what we wanted all along, He's, I think, a very pleasant young man, very polite, who has much going for him. We like to be a part of his growth and development.
Bibiana Williams, the mother of the child at the center of the controversy, had insisted she would not cut or cover her child's hair or transfer him from St. Mary's College. The college said the mother had agreed in writing to the school's rules. The standoff had resulted in her 12-year-old son being prevented from attending formal classes at the institution.
People have the right to object as they see fit, but there's a way to do things, Sitting at the expense of the children. You don't use the child to make your point, You can make your point otherwise, but let the child get what's best for him. That's his chance in the classroom. Along the way, you can see about these things. And we open to suggestions and recommendations and so on. It's a dynamic school where things change. We recognize that, but there are ways to change things and ways that you don't try to change things by upsetting the entire apple cart of the school.
St. Mary's College says it already has 6 students who grow their hair, but keep it covered. It had accused the mother at the center of the hair controversy of being stubborn, insisting she and the child had a problem with the hair covering. However, while agreeing to cover her son's hair in the interim, Bibiana Williams made it clear that she is pursuing legal and other avenues to see that the St. Mary's College rule is abolished. As far as she is concerned, the hair rule is tantamount to discrimination. According to her, there is no evidence to suggest that uncovered, plaited hair results in chaos, as stated by the school principal. She says boys attending school with braided hair is fairly new, but the breakdown of school discipline has been going on for far longer, so the true cause of the situation needs to be identified. Ms. Williams says from an infant, her son has been instilled with the right values of discipline, hard work, respect for self, and respect for elders, as well as love for everyone. According to her, these were values that mattered in him obtaining a 93.67 pass mark at the common entrance examinations, and his plaited hair had no bearing on the values instilled in him as a child. Reporting for the DBS News World, I am Selective.
So you see what I'm saying to you, and if you listen to what the principal of the school is saying, so now he is one of us. Have we ever thought about this child as an individual? He must, and we reaffirmed the school's principles, what the school stands for. But we never reaffirmed the young boy to say, hey, It is okay for you to wear your hair like this. We are living in, like we are in 19 not. And then again, it's like, people want to talk about slavery. We're living slavery in the schools because we are black people. And we do not even want to affirm our young black men, young boys, and say it's okay to plait your hair. Many people do not want to wear their hair natural. Look at my hair, all natural. If you really want to affirm yourself, if you feel like this makes you into a better person, that's you. But you cannot push your beliefs on somebody because it's a rule or he's one of us. So you mean to say to me, because this happened how many years ago, people? I remember this incident quite well. Happened many years ago. And then this child now, did we think of the psychological effect on this child? And the principal was saying the mother has to do things certain way. But I could understand with the mother, right? And because of the disruption and because of our court system in St. Lucia, why don't we have a small claims court or a court where these things can be handled? And I was privy to be in the court system for a couple of months. And I'm telling you, I want to be in the court system for a couple of months. Let me tell you, that's the place they waste your time. They waste people's time. I have never seen that. Our court system, and I can talk from a point of authority because I was there for a couple of months to do what I had to do. And I can tell you, our court system in St. Lucia is a waste of time. It is a waste of time. And there are people with valid issues and they have nowhere to go because of our court system. So this lady taking this to the court, so we'll just drag. But then again, let me focus on the young man. Did we affirm him to say it's okay to be you? He is brilliant. He's not smoking. He's not taking cocaine. He's not doing drugs. He's not doing anything wrong. A young, intelligent child. He's here. You see, a lot of we old people, sorry for saying old, but we grown-ups, because we believe it's right this way, or it should be done this way, it's right for everybody. No, it's not right for everybody. Think. They did not think, it's the school rule, the school have a standard. And let me tell you, the school pressure breaks some of those intelligent children into nothing. If you see they do not have a good support, they break those children into nothing. I'm a parent, I am a proactive parent. My children big now, but when they were in school, I was proactive. I was mama foul. I was very, very proactive. So a formation of the young man wasn't done. A formation of that's the school rule and he's now one of us. It's like a cult. So it tells me people are not thinking. People have all their qualifications, but they are not thinking. My show is for the various sectors and you to think. Because people, if we all start to think, we are going to have a better country. We know the world are getting no better, but at least we could have a little peace if we all decide to think before we do things. And look at what happened with Carnival. It's like, it's okay, everybody, Martin doing everything, but the boys cannot plait there. It's the school rules. Okay? So I guess people paying their money, people doing what they want. It's the school rules, so nobody cares. Let the children follow. So it is basically a matter of choice, but it's not the young people or the students do not have a choice as to what they have to do or what they can do. I am encouraging everybody to think. And as I said to you, this is a new show. It's going to be fantastic. Excuse me, lots to come out from the show. Think. Sorry guys, but we have moved away from the political scene. We're not doing this again. We're going to be speaking on every issue, but in a way to bring a cause St. Lucians and everybody around the world to think, because if you don't think for yourself, you're going to end up in a deep hole. And I realize that people like the status quo. People like the status quo. They like what used to be done before. They like this, they like that, they like this, they like that. You know, and it's okay for people to enjoy themselves, but let us not have selective morality. It is only bad for when this person is doing it, and it's only good when this person is doing it. But my problem right now, I need to know the chief medical officer. I need to know, and the Minister of Health, I need to know moving forward, because you have to have a plan, post-Carnival plan, in terms of what we saw. I may not want anybody to fall sick, but we know it's inevitable. What are your plans? If everything is okay, then all protocols should be removed from what we saw. Everything should be removed. But people have to think for themselves. So even if all protocols are removed, and I saw somebody said, you know, they move protocols in a country, but they still wearing their mask. People laughing at them, but they still wearing their mask. Remember, you need to think, and thinking is all you can do to save your life, or your family's life, or somebody else's life. And with this, I am going to see you. I will be back with you on Thursday. I will be back with you where we can talk about all different issues. Remember, it is a show for you to think, and we have just moved away from the political scene and continue to think. Lots of lovely discussions, interviews, and different stuff. And we will see you on Thursday. Have a blessed night.